Now, the biggest story that you don't know about, or the traditional media won't tell you about, or that you may know something about, but this is definitely something you need to know more about, the biggest financial breakthrough of our time. And that, of course, is Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and alternate coin. So without further ado, Crypto Mommy. So today on the Tom West Show, Crypto Mama, we will be interviewing today. And as we sit down and talk with her, she'll let us know about all things cryptocurrency, how she views it. With that being said, without further ado, Crypto Mama, hello, how are you?
Hi, Al. I'm very good. I want to thank you for having a show like this. I'm always interested in different ways to make money, so I'm tuning into you. I'm very glad to be here.
Oh, we're very glad that you're here. You know, we always wanted to keep the people abreast on the situations that goes on, and this kind of fits right into the future. You know, from my opinion, as I see it, I'm sure you see it a certain way too.
We couldn't be speaking at a better time.
Right. And with this show being cryptocurrency, you being someone that's familiar with cryptocurrency, right?
Well, I like to view myself as the blue collar trader. So indeed, I do trade Bitcoin. I do hold Bitcoin. I'm enamored of Bitcoin. I hope other people who need it want to get into it. But again, I'm the blue collar trader. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be a Harvard MBA. You don't need to be a big finance guy. You don't need to be a crypto YouTuber. This is something that's friendly for everybody. And the mainstream news, they don't really tell us that. So I'm glad we're doing this show.
Yeah, definitely. So in the position of just speaking in cryptocurrency right now, which cryptocurrency do you see just outstanding, like being the biggest one? Because there's a lot of coins out there, right?
I think it's cyclical, and some different ones are up at different times. So I think that people who have an interest in Bitcoin, they can't go wrong, taking more steps into it. I know when I wanted to start, I was kind of intimidated by Bitcoin, even though I had traded other things for 25 years. It was a whole new thing to me. So it's easy as just getting your feet wet. This is not financial advice. This is not trading advice, but maybe somebody out there who is seeing what's going on, they might think, hey, I'm too late. Well, if you read a few articles, if you understand what the blockchain is, if you understand what Bitcoin's going to do for the world, you quickly realize you're not too late. Bitcoin is in its infancy right now. You couldn't be coming in at a better time. You're not too late at almost 20,000 now. You probably wouldn't be too late at 30,000 or 50,000. It's truly the early years of this market.
So do you see, I'm sorry to cut you off, do you see cryptocurrency going to, well, Bitcoin, as it is now, it's almost 20 grand. Do you see it? 20 grand USD. Do you see it going to 30, 50 grand in the future? Near future?
I don't know if I want to make price predictions on here, but yeah, definitely. I mean, just smarter people than me read about it on the internet and even your newspapers now. Hear what hedge funds are saying, hear what the head of banks are saying about where Bitcoin is going, hear about what the head of PayPal is saying about where Bitcoin is going. They're not talking about $20,000 or $50,000. They're talking about $200,000. $300,000, maybe $500,000 or $1 million, but we're just looking into the short term here. But yes, I don't think I love the market because I don't see anywhere else where we can get returns like this. I'm always happy for my friends who trade stocks. They'll be very excited. Well, this or that stock, they bought it at 21 and it's now 36, and That's, about a 30% gain, and awesome. That's awesome for you.
Right.
How long did that take?
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 months.
Right.
Well, times in 4 months, I'm doubling the size of my account in the crypto market. And we working everyday people who want to create our own pension plans. Crypto is really the only way that I can see that we could do it, and be in charge of our wealth. Real estate is great. If you run into a problem, you can't pack up your real estate on your back and take it with you. But crypto's portable. I see crypto as the store of wealth.
That's what
True.
was leading into that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you brought up the PayPal, what the executives of PayPal are talking about when it comes to the numbers they think Bitcoin will go to. In reference to that, I'm assuming that means that which I think, most people know, we're probably going to run into a situation where currency is digital, right? No more cash, probably. No more fiat currency.
Probably, but who knows? And it probably doesn't even matter, I would say, because the fiat currency, they can keep doing what they're doing, devaluing their base. We want to have a place to store our value. As far as the PayPal executives are concerned, that whole PayPal thing, it's crypto and it's not crypto. I love PayPal. It's a great service, but what they're doing, they will sell people crypto, but it's still PayPal's crypto. You can kind of use it, so you're not really owning it. And it's great for the Bitcoin community. It's going to get us more adoption, which just makes Bitcoin all the more valuable. But that really isn't a solution for blue collar people, for average everyday people who want to build their own pension plan. Because at the end of the day, that really is PayPal's coins and not yours.
Right. So Bitcoin, I would say currency dollars used to be backed by gold, right? Until 70 something. I think Nixon took it off. And then after that.
You talk about fiat, sure.
Yeah. Fiat, yep.
Yeah.
And then
we all know the problems we're in with that, right?
Right, yeah, we all know the problem. And then oil, right? Would be the next one, right? Dollar was backed by. So when I speak in reference, or when we're talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, what would Bitcoin be backed by? What's actually making it a stored value of wealth? Or how can you store your wealth in that or currency? What makes the price inflate?
Okay, they're complicated questions. Let me try to see if I can answer this in a general way. If you want to look more into the math that makes Bitcoin valuable, there's even some YouTube videos that try to put a simplistic formula to that. There's a guy, I think he's called Kiefer Kerr. He makes a nice, I don't want to say dumbed down, he makes an explanation that I kind of delved into, that I began to understand and could expand on. And I would say it's not the most relevant thing for our conversation here, because I'm hoping we can put out in the little bit of time that we have some practical steps that people can take if they want to get into Bitcoin. Again, not as financial advice, not as trading advice, as entertainment.
Right. Could you just give us like a synopsis of what that might look like?
But to get back to your Bitcoin was invented by, this fictitious character who most people look at as a group of programmers who created a network that is closed. What makes Bitcoin valuable is its finite status. There will only ever be 21 million coins.
Mm-hmm.
They say at least maybe 4 to 6 million are lost already. And there's only probably going to be another 3 million mined. I believe after 2030, there'll never be any more Bitcoin mined. And the reason why, without me being a programmer or a scientist, or to tell you the reason why there can't be any more, and again, please look into this more technically, more scientifically, is In these computers, they have nodes. The nodes only have so many spaces, and the spaces have to be occupied. To occupy them, you have to do a certain amount of programming work, and that programming work it it fits into a piece of time, and you can't push any more work into that piece of time, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so the way the math that they structured that to always only ever be 21 million coins.
Right.
And so what is so powerful about that is all of a sudden now we can take away from the government their ability to control our money. Nobody controls the money because there's only ever 21. There's only ever, no one can expand the money supply and make the money that we're holding worth less. So it that's what keeps making Bitcoin go up and up and up. When people want to store their value in the Bitcoin, it's not going to go down because we're not going to just print up a bunch and give it to our friends. I mean, we love it when they give the stimulus. They give you $1,000 check, $1,200. It's all great, but they give their friends a big pile of money. And every time they give you that little $1,200 check, you don't realize they give you that in your hand and they're standing behind you and giving you a kick in the you-know-where, because whatever little money you have in the bank is now worth a lot less
Mm-hmm.
because of the printing press that they have. So there is no printing press for Bitcoin other than to 21 million coins. That's what makes it valuable.
Right.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, right.
The finite nature of it.
Mm-hmm. So, and in your opinion, what would be the best way of going about actually purchasing? You can get into that a little bit.
I think by now, pretty much a lot of people, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people are convinced now that Bitcoin has value. You have seen a lot of the bankers, people like Jamie Dimon kind of
Yep.
flip up about what they, first it's a scam, and I think he's always been with Bitcoin. He's always said
Actually,
it was
seen
a
Goldman
scam.
Sachs too. Actually,
Yeah,
come out.
but
Yep.
they have a big division
Mm-hmm.
that works in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So I think really he talks out of two sides of his mouth. He says it's a scam, and the other side of his mouth, he's putting in orders for Bitcoin. So while he's telling you Bitcoin's bad, he's loading up his bags, as they say. When you can go get Bitcoin, we call it, loading up our bags. He's loading up his bags, just like all the other rich people are. Shoot,
Right.
I'm sorry, I gotta take more drink. I'm up in the dusty second floor, trying to be quiet.
Well, it's probably a good reception up there, I think.
Finally.
So, in reference to when, like, gold and
How
silver.
about, I'm sorry, let's go back to how the people get the Bitcoin. Do you want to do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go back to that.
Okay, so I don't think that we have to spend too much time talking about the value of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was on the front page of the Wall Street Journal today. Finally, the world is embracing Bitcoin, so we all kind of want some.
Mm-hmm.
I think people get discouraged. Okay, Bitcoin costs $20,000. I don't have $20,000, but of course you can buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. Again, not trading advice, not financial advice. I think a lot of people will start with Coinbase because it's one of the bigger companies. It has what did they say, a user-friendly interface.
Yes.
They make it easy. The fees are not outrageous.
This also reports to the IRS, right? Which is huge, right?
Well, let's hit that next. Okay, so Coinbase, it has a partners company that's set up called Coinbase Pro, and when you want to go buy some Bitcoin, probably it's a good idea to make an account for both sides of their operation, Coinbase and Coinbase Pro, because they give you a better deal on the fees and sending the Bitcoin out, kind of like you buy it on Coinbase, then you send it to Coinbase Pro, because then you have less fees when you send it out.
Right.
There's probably other more complicated things that you can do to have less fees, but for someone just starting out, I think that's ideal. the point that you hit about yeah, do they have what they call KYC factors? Yes, they do. Uh, but the trade-off for that is you can you can pretty much trust them. So the KYC is know your client. That's something the U.S. makes them do. So when you open up your
Because we all
Coinbase
talking about
account,
cryptocurrency, right? So when we talk about cryptocurrency, we tend to think of a value of money, or a value of something that the government should not have a hand in, right? That's what we usually see. But I guess when you use platforms, this is the way we have to go about it, right?
well, I think you could get more, hypothetically, anonymously, I think you could get more sophisticated about it as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to tell people how to get their foot wet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's a trade-off. I mean, do you want to, when you use people who use that KYC, know your customer, there's more trust there than the people that don't have that. Uh, uh, and also, I mean, uh, does the government attach your Bitcoin to you forever? Are you taxed in the year that you buy it? What if you sold it then? If you know what I'm saying. And maybe you sold it to your own little bank, and maybe after that it's yours forever without anybody looking over your shoulder, so to speak, for entertainment purposes, if you're following me.
Right, right, yeah. Since we were getting into the government space about how they would tax this and regulation. So the government in general, I mean, I guess we've seen in Bretton Woods, which this seems like there's going to be one world currency. They're going to come up with some digital currency. Now, with that being said, I'm pretty sure, or I don't know if I'm sure or not, but it's not going to be Bitcoin. So when it comes to the future of Bitcoin, as United States government, the play for the government would be to discontinue that, right? Or disrupt that much as they can, which will probably be, I don't know, stopping retailers or stopping, finance facilities or whoever from actually accepting Bitcoin.
um, for you and me, and for anyone else, or anyone that wants to think about it, it wouldn't bother me a bit if they do it. I don't really uh, look to the day to go spend my Bitcoin at the coffee shop or at the Macy's. For me, the Bitcoin is a store of value. Again, if I need to leave this country for some reason, that's the way I take a large portion of my wealth with me.
Right, right.
So when I get my Bitcoin, I'm not looking to. People say, "Well, we take Bitcoin." That's like, no, fine. I'll give you some of this fiat here. I'm trying to get rid of. My Bitcoin's staying in the ledger,
Mm-hmm.
or it's staying on an exchange, so I can make more Bitcoin. If the central bank wants to make a digital coin, great, let them do it. Let them print up much of that as they want to. We know their track record with as far as handing out and distributing currency.
Right.
Also, look how long it's taken Bitcoin to be trusted and adapted. I mean, we already don't trust them. But anyway, we're talking on such a high level. Let's go on back down there to the people who just want to know how to do this, maybe. So we talked about the Coinbase and the Coin Pro.
Yeah. I guess maybe we should
If
throw
you,
blockchain in there too, huh? I guess while we had it, maybe.
um,
A little
well,
technical. I mean, I know it's a lot. It's a lot to devolve, but I guess we can get back into Coinbase.
I guess that the main thing for lay people, blue collar people who want to know about the blockchain is celebrated for its security. So that's why people love Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a slow blockchain network. So, would you bring up something else? There's this other faster network that kind of works. Things you can't do on Bitcoin, you can do on Ethereum. So when you asked me before, what coin is the one to go with? I mean, at any given time, you may want to go with the most profitable, or the one where the money is flowing in the most. But again, let me regress and let me go back and just talk to the people who say, I'm curious about cryptocurrency and how in the world do I get involved? So You're joining Coinbase, I would say, for entertainment purposes.
Mm-hmm.
You're also doing the Coinbase Pro so that you can get better fees. You know that you do have to give them take a picture of an ID for that. Uh, and so now you have a opportunity to get Bitcoin. Maybe you want to put it on a broker platform so that you could have an opportunity to get more Bitcoin.
Yes. Is that something like a trading platform?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So they'll talk about leverage trading, which kind of sounds scary, but it's not. It's not the same as like a commodities or forex trading on margin. Like maybe if I want to trade forex, I can probably go somewhere and lay down $25,000, and they'll give me 10x, and I can trade like I have $250,000.
Right.
And when I got into crypto, I thought, well, hey, is that what they do? Wow. And if they do, how do they control it on a fast moving new market like this? But it's not like that. When they say leveraged trading, the leverage comes in, and this is a little hard to explain to people who don't trade, but let me give you an example. When I trade, I usually trade with no leverage. Let's say I have $1,000 and I open up a trading account, and I just want to keep doing stupid longs because Bitcoin just keeps going up. I don't know anything about trading. Uh, when when there's news set to come out, or when I hear people on YouTube talk about that there's going to be a breakout to the upside, and that there's some confirmations, and then I hear their next video that says we got the confirmation, I'm putting in a long. Okay, great, I'm going to put in along with you,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. YouTube trader man. So a lot of times you're told you can only trade with money that you can afford to lose. So and maybe if you're doing stocks, you're trading with 10%. But this $1,000, that's not my net worth. That's money I can afford to lose. So I may take 1,000 contracts for Bitcoin long, and I will usually just use no leverage because, for me, I'm in it to win it, and I'm not using a stop loss. So the way I can lose the money is there's a liquidation price.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have not used any leverage, my liquidation price is going to be pretty far away. Say if I go in long at $18,000, my liquidation price might be something like $10,500.
Mm-hmm.
So probably Bitcoin's not going to go from $20,000 to $10,000 unless there's Armageddon, or I don't know, China invades us or something like that.
Yeah,
And
I guess
even
that's a
that, I don't have.
possibility, right?
Yeah, well, and even then, I don't have to lose my money because I could probably deposit a little bit more money. Okay, because even though that's a even trade, the brokerage still isn't going to let me ride that to zero if the market goes down, because they incur costs having it there, that kind of thing. So that's why they're going to cut you off at some point.
Right.
However, if I wanted to use, people say, well, I put on a 10x leverage trade, then only $100 of my money would be at risk. But my liquidation price might be, I might have gone in at 18, and my liquidation price might be 16,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm risking less money, but the brokerage, the platform, is risking less short. They're going to cut me off shorter.
So
So
being that this is it's technical, well, I won't say it's technical, but it's definitely trading. The average person, when it comes to Bitcoin and when it comes to leverage trading, as you speak of, it would probably, is there a good idea for someone to buy and hold, say an investor, or should an investor invest
yeah,
in someone that was trading?
okay. So I don't think you can go wrong buying and holding Bitcoin, Ethereum. The talk is even from people like Jamie Dimon. They talk about it going to the moon. I mean, it's definitely increasing in value because of the fundamentals. Because we all need a place to store our value. But as I come on here, I'm trying to maybe let the average blue collar people know that this big trading thing that you do, they'll say, well, don't open up an account unless you're an experienced investor. Okay. You can become an experienced investor pretty easily. Back in the day when we would trade commodities or Forex, what they would, when you want to practice trade, they call that paper trading. With crypto, they call it testnet. So all the brokerages have a play platform that you can go on there, that you can test your trading setups before you actually risk real money, that you can get used to the platform. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Right. Yeah. Most people don't know that, especially when it comes to trading actual Bitcoin. So, as I see it, if you're trading Bitcoin and you're leveraging it, which is sounds a little similar to the stock market, other than the fact that I guess your forex is not as you just don't have to leverage as much, right, as if you traded a commodity. And
Yeah, I've tried to explain it, and maybe it's hard for people to follow if they never trade. But yes, commodities and forex trading and that trading margin, as they used to call, and you hear about people getting a margin call, or their account being liquidated in I don't know, 20 minutes from the brokerage, and you lose all your money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It can be very high risk, high impact trading. And in the crypto world, even they're obligated. They have to say, don't open this account unless you're an experienced investor. And I think to the average Joe, that's like, whoa, I'm not experienced, and I don't work at a bank, and I don't take trades at the hedge fund, and so I can't open an account there. But you can become an experienced trader. In that, what I tell you, this leverage trading, it sounds scary, but there's really not a lot of leverage to it. The leverage that when we do it with margin call, we're doing it so that we could make more out of our money. So I can use $25,000 to trade $250,000, and I can try to inflate my money. But in these crypto platforms, leverage trading is not margin trading. You're using the leverage to safeguard your stack, in other
right.
words.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a way to reduce your risk on the trading. So we kind of accelerate our risk in margin trading, but leverage trading, you decrease your risk. And the name of it doesn't sound like that's what it is, but that's what it is.
Right.
And I never knew that or figured that out until I dove into the pool and found out what this leverage trading was. I thought maybe I could give them $25,000 and trade like it's 250. No. But that's fine, because I like this kind of trading much better. I can sleep at night. I don't have any ulcers.
Right.
The other way, you'd make some good money until you didn't. So I blew up a lot of accounts like that. There's a big power that can come from trading where you don't have to lose like that. And you can do a lot of trading. Again, not trading advice, not financial advice, but I can see for myself that in regular trading, it's kind of a given. There's going to be losses. If you trade 70 or 80% positively, you're doing really great. Here, since July, I opened up a new account. And it's a bull run, so you don't usually get this many good trades, but I've had more than 150 trades, and they're all winners. I can't do that in a Forex market. I can't do that in a stock market. And one of the reasons why you can do this is because you're right in the infancy of something that goes up, up, up.
Right. So, with that being said, just getting back to actual Bitcoin and getting back to there's only 21 million Bitcoins, right, ever being mined, and maybe another three, right? But then there's like a four or whatever, maybe 5 million
I
that's
think
kind
there's
of
been
lost.
18 million that's been mined and 3 million more that's going to come out between now and 2030. Now, the problem with that is Bitcoin is getting very competitive. Please, whoever wants to jump in, let them jump in now, because the last bull market, it was all retail people. It was programmers who knew about Bitcoin. It was, kind of people on the edge like that.
Mhm.
People who somehow found about it. And then, a little bit of what they call retail FOMO, a little fear of missing out because I heard my friend made so much in the crypto. Right now, you're competing with all the big boys. I mean, they have something called Grayscale. They have something called MicroStrategies, big, huge billion-dollar PayPal, who are just stepping in and buying all the Bitcoin from the miners, putting incredible buying pressure on the Bitcoin. Our opportunity for the blue collar people to get a full Bitcoin for themselves expires a little bit every single day as all these rich people come into the market. You're not too late, but you need to come in now. You need to figure out how to buy it, how to trade it on a brokerage, on a platform, where to get your information. uh, I can't even believe, when I traded Forex and commodities, they didn't have YouTube. They didn't have just videos that I could watch to learn how to read a chart or how to make a trade setup. I had to go to workshops that were $2,000, $3,000. I had to go get a private mentor for $10,000. The information that is available out there right now is incredible. Uh, Trades are usually done on something called, well, with the fundamentals.
Mhm.
Our fundamentals is that, that fiat sucks and that Bitcoin's a great store of value, better than gold, because if I want to leave Argentina at the border, they'll take my gold right off me,
Mm.
but they don't know anything about my
That
Bitcoin.
I understand, because that was kind of my thing, going along the lines with that, like you said, with the gold or silver, right? As we go into this dollar crash, looks like the gold, right, goes up, gets more. So some people are claiming, like Jim Ricketts, that gold will be, I don't know, 20, 15,000, but who knows what that really means with inflation, right? That could mean anything in another
Plus, it
five
sounds like
years.
wishful thinking to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he has a whole chart, because I guess he used to work for the economics department. But if gold does go to that 20,000 and that 15,000, inflation may catch that. That $15,000 today, that's maybe worth, who knows, that 20,000 maybe still 15,000. Just because of inflation, the way it rises. But yeah, the fact that you can't carry gold or silver. You can carry it, but like, how much can you actually carry, or how much can you store if you do need to go to a different country, right? Or if you need a border.
I love Bitcoin. I know you, or I love gold. I know you love gold. If somebody wants to give me some gold, sell me some gold cheap, of course I'll buy it. But it's not Bitcoin.
It's
And again, when gold is $20,000, what do you think Bitcoin will be? Probably $800,000.
That's true. That's true. That's what speaks of to the people, that when you say you should get in now, because the pressure that's being put on it, it probably is. I don't see it coming back down. I mean, we can always have a market correction, right? Where we can have a sell off, right? But that's only for the big.
You call it a market dump. I call it a discount.
Okay, yeah,
And
exactly.
really,
That's what I mean. That's only for the sharks. That's only for the people that know to come in and buy cheap, right? Or buy it for less, right? And ride it back up, pretty much, right? And ride it to wherever it's going to go.
yes. And, bears have been trying to push it down. And I'm not saying it can't have a pullback, but most of the time lately, when it's been pulling back, buyers just run right in and jump on it. Uh, I don't, I don't see that stopping it. Any pullbacks, a lot of times, again, this is for entertainment purposes, and I really don't have concrete proof of this, but I kind of know this. Anytime there's pullbacks, a lot of times it's orchestrated by by maybe some of these platforms, by Bitcoin whales, which is another thing. When I was trading Forex or stocks, I really couldn't get a lot of information about what big people were doing with their money. By the time that information was out, it was old news. Right now, you can go on a lot of websites and look at what the whales are doing, or how much Bitcoin is leaving big addresses, so you can kind of get away of the wind blowing. But a lot of times when you see these dumps, it's not a loss of value. It's wealthy people, it's powerful people wanting to accumulate at a better price.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And with a lot of those breadcrumbs being left behind, sometimes you think, is it really a cryptocurrency? Which doesn't mean that you can't that you shouldn't store it. It just means that because it leaves a huge breadcrumb, there are going to be capital gains, right? Paid on this, or there may be a way in the future to actually uh exchange this into another asset, which I guess we don't know yet, right?
Again, yeah, I can't give trading advice, financial advice, accounting advice. All I can say is with the phenomenal gains that you can make, I don't think you're going to be too worried about having to pay some taxes or capital gains. It's better than never having got into this fast moving money maker at all. And again, also, there's probably other things that you could do that you will become privy to as you join the community, as you follow different influencers and the social medias and the Twitters and the YouTubes. I don't need, as I was saying before, the trades are done by fundamentals and also by technical analysis. A lot of the technical analysis for Bitcoin is pretty simple. It's 1, 2, or 3, maybe 4 steps because the market moves so quick. But I hardly read charts myself anymore because I have 7 or 8 influencers that they might have a talk on YouTube. It's all timestamp, and I just go right to the timestamp where they talk about what they see on the chart. And I do that for 7 or 8 people. I look at the chart a little bit myself. I kind of get a consensus of who I agree with, who I don't. A lot of times we're all saying the same thing. And I kind of know what kind of trade I'm going to be looking for to execute in the near future. So the amount of information that is out here is incredible.
That's
Any
definitely
opportunity.
that's definitely true. I did have before we close up, there was something else that I was thinking about or asked. Let's say if someone was say if you had an investor, right? They were looking to invest in Bitcoin, but they were strictly just, an investor and they weren't looking to actually hold Bitcoin or store it, but they were looking to invest with a Bitcoin trader or whatever the case may be. And they wanted to just dump 50, 60 grand and just let it sit. What would your advice be, or what would your opinion be, even though we know this is not financial advice?
Well, I mean, I know how busy people can be, so maybe they just don't have time to watch over it themselves. I mean, I'd probably want to watch over it myself if I were them, even if they are time pressed, just because this is the wave of the future. And right now, this market's not that complicated. And but there are brokerages that'll have. I think Phoenix is one where a lot of the new ones have this, where they have the best traders on the platform. They'll be ranked, and you can invest money with them, and you can get a certain, whatever the account makes, they get a little piece. The platform gets a little piece, and you get some percentage. And that way, you're not watching the charts, you're not doing the trades yourself. You could do something like that.
Is there any way to get around a broker if you have that
Yeah,
much?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. That was yeah. So that was the question. So as we
Although I would encourage that person to just look into it a little bit themselves. So they'll probably fall in love with the market like I have.
right, right. So with that being said, it's a great interview, and hopefully you'll be back and you can be our resident Bitcoin analyst, or those sort of things. If you could help us out, maybe a couple episodes down the line and just give us your opinion. I know this is not financial advice, but this is great advice for the average Joe. This is great advice for really whomever. As you can see, everybody from a PayPal, a billion-dollar company, right, all the way up to the average Joe just trying to make some money for his pension, her or his pension, can actually get into this type of market, especially when it's the wave of the future. I mean, if you don't believe that, I mean, just, you can just read a little bit and just look, of what's going on now. Like you said, today was on the Wall Street Journal, right? Bitcoin.
Correct. And maybe I can just summarize a little bit here again for our entertainment purposes. Maybe a beginner, they might want to get the Coinbase and slash Coinbase Pro account to actually get their Bitcoin to start out with. That Bitcoin, they might want to look at some of the influencers on YouTube. If you put in Bitcoin, probably the top 8 people that come out, most of them are pretty sharp. They all have affiliate links in there for the platforms. I mean, I have an affiliate link, but they give those guys nice bonuses to give to people. So before I'd open up the platform account, I'd go to one of those influencers and get their affiliate link, so I can get maybe another $100, another $500 in the account as a bonus, depending upon how much money you're going to deposit to begin with. Then I would just kind of chill. You're a beginner. I would open up a testnet account. BitMEX has one of the best charting and testnet accounts to kind of practice on. One thing that you have to think about, if you're in the US, you need to use a VPN to go on the platforms, which probably if you're doing anything with crypto, again, you want to be anonymous about how many coins you're buying or the fact that you're interested in this. And you also want to use a VPN just for safety. They're probably about $50-$60 a year, good money just for your banking information, etc. Okay, so you got your Bitcoin from Coinbase
Mm-hmm.
Pro. You've got your affiliate link from big influencers who make sense on YouTube. Next time I come, I could probably talk about some of my favorites. You get that affiliate link so you can get a little bit more money. I'd say my favorite platform is Bybit, BYBIT. And once you get set up like that, you probably want to delve a little bit into trading setups and charting, and also just maybe listening to the influencers. A lot of them will tell you what trades that are going in, and I watch them. Those trades make money. These guys, they're not like the big guy on CNBC that tells you buy this and buy that
Mm-hmm.
and front run you and that stock
Mm-hmm.
dumps.
Mm-hmm.
We all know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
we
I
all,
don't want to
yeah.
get
Let's
sued.
not do that. But yeah, we all know who you're talking about. Exactly.
These guys are, they're just programmers that, got wealthy 7-8 years ago doing this. And they make a lot of money from the brokerage with their little affiliate link. So they're more than happy to put out the good content for you and practicing. So that way, the platform and you're not intimidated by this. You have to be an experienced investor. You can go get your experience. You can listen to the smart people who are talking about this right now, and you can practice. And everything that I told you today, I had to lose money and pay money to learn and to share it with you. So I hope some people put it to use. As far